What's up, Patriots? Constitution Vet coming to you live in the field once again. That's right, I'm back at work, I'm rejuvenated, I'm refocused, and I'm ready to go. So, let's not waste any more time, let's get into it. Alright, so I've talked a lot about teaching effectively, ensuring that your students grasp material in unique ways, but I haven't really focused on the actual environment that you should create. Hence, today's focus. If you find yourself to be a new teacher, make sure that the environment is conducive for learning. To be clear, I understand that there's unique situations, you got to take unique things to make sure your environment is good. But I figured these 5 key points are applicable to any situation. So, with that being said, let's get started. Classroom environment. First, it's got to be a designated space with no distractions. This is key. I would say this is the most important one. You don't want to teach lessons in a space that's full of distractions. Okay, it seems self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised how many people don't take that into account, especially if you're not a professional teacher. Okay, designated space, a space just for teaching and learning. Okay, if you can avoid it, you don't want to have the same space where you relax in. Okay, you want to try to keep separate spaces. One for learning, education, the other for relaxation. Trust me, it'll help you tremendously in the long run. Okay. Second point, make sure this space is well organized and no clutter. A cluttered area is a cluttered mind. And the last thing you need as a teacher is to be fumbling around for everything when it needs to be in a clear and concise, well organized order. Okay. But yeah, make sure everything's well organized. Make sure your students know where everything is. No clutter. At the end of the typical class day, make sure that it's cleaned up and put right back to where it was for the next day. Okay. Next one. As far as materials goes, if you have a whiteboard, perfect. But if you don't have that, that's fine. Just something to document or write your thoughts on, or to explain key points, whatever it is. Okay. This is just basic stuff: markers, paper, pens, etc. Staplers, tape, whatever you're going to use for your material. Just make sure you have the material for it. Okay. Fourth point: technology. Okay. This can be laptops, game consoles, projectors, tablets, anything that's tied to this. Make sure you use it. Now, whether you use the same thing every day, that can be different, obviously. That can change. This also can be applied to field trips. So if you want to take your students out to a museum, again, make sure that they have the proper tools to actually get something out of that experience. Instead of them just walking and looking at things, oh, that's cool, that's cool. No. Give them the tools they need to take notes while they're there, or take pictures of certain things so they can do research on that subject later. Okay. Lastly, you want to create a balance between comfort and rigor. One nice thing about teaching and learning at home is that you are at home. You're already in a comfortable, safe environment. However, you don't want to be too comfortable because then you run the risk of becoming lazy. You're too comfortable in that couch or in that chair and you put off the work. You're like, you know what, we can do that later. Or I can tackle that assignment later. You want to insert rigor into your classroom. You want to make sure that your students don't just have the tools that they need to get the job done. You don't just need a good space that's decluttered, but you also need to provide a sense of rigor in that classroom. Yes, you can be comfortable while doing your work, but you also need to reinforce the fact that there is still work that needs to get done. And the sooner you get the work done, the sooner we can move forward with other subjects. So, on that note, guys, again, if you find yourself being a new teacher and this is not a normal thing for you, don't forget to create a well-rounded classroom environment. Trust me, it makes the learning process better for the students and makes the teaching process easier and more efficient for you. On that note, Patriots, have a wonderful day. Never surrender, never submit. This is Constitution Vet coming to you live in the field, signing out.